This week's installment is sponsored by Squarespace. Welcome back to a new vlog, everybody. Thank you for joining me. So in our last video, I spent quite a bit of time with Karen at the Quiver Tree Forest, and now we've driven southwest to the coast, Luderitz. And Luderitz is a little coastal town. I think it's a lot of tourists go there in the summer or the winter. So not far from Luderitz, there's a ghost town called Kolmonskop. And you probably, if you're familiar, if you follow a lot of people on Instagram, you've probably seen photographs of doorways with sand dunes going through the houses, and that's where we are. And I'm looking at a scene right now that I really quite like. I'm just waiting for the light to change. The only problem that we're finding with this area is because it's a tourist area, there's footprints everywhere. So it's a little tricky, but what I've done is I've got a little bit of wood and I'm kind of sweeping across the footprints. Now it's somewhat obvious, but at least it gets rid of the main footprints. It has been done before, but it is really cool because you have really old peeling paint, wallpaper, and because it's sunny all the time here, you get light bouncing around all over the place. So you get some really nice colors in here. So we're just kind of scoping it out tonight, and perhaps taking a couple of photographs, and then tomorrow morning we're going to come back to some of the areas that we've scoped out that have potential, and hopefully get some photographs. All right, so as I said, the hardest part is the sun has gone down now, so the colors are quite a bit more subdued. There's some really nice pastels in the scene now. And but as I said, the hardest part is all the footprints. So I've been going around with piece of plank, trying to smooth them out, and then I'll grab a piece of sheathing from the roof and just kind of see if I can get some sand over it. It still doesn't look quite natural, but it looks better than it did. The really nice thing about this scene is it's quite symmetrical, and I've tried to split it so that we have the two halves are more or less the same, except the differences are that we have blues and greens, and then we have some pink on one side as well. So it's a really kind of neat scene. And of course it's very dilapidated. There's lots of cracks in the walls and old bricks lying on the ground and everything. So it kind of breaks up that symmetry a little bit. But yeah, I think it's a pretty cool scene. And there's still a bit of light bouncing around as well. So that adds a nice contrast in there as well. I want to take this opportunity to thank Squarespace for continuing to support my channel and sponsoring this week's video. My favorite feature of my Squarespace website is the ability to quickly and efficiently update a gallery or page from my desktop computer or on the fly using the Squarespace app from my smartphone. Loading multiple images onto a page is quick and allows changing a page or design quickly and elegantly without any coding knowledge. Sound interesting? Why not head on over to squarespace.com and try it for free? If you like the platform, use the code AdamGibbs for 10% off your first purchase. This is really cool. There's from where the camera is, that might make a good shot. From this doorway to the next doorway, and then there's some light coming through the doorway at the back, which is up to here in sand. And there's some nice colors in there, some greens and pinks and blues. So I might do this after, so I'd have to clear this space out a little bit. But right now I'm going in, just around the corner here, there's an old door that's leaning over, and I don't know, it just looks really neat. The light is beautiful in there, just coming through the back. It's actually clouded over today. We have marine fog that's moved in, which was a little bit of a surprise. I think when it's sunny here, you get the light bouncing around a little bit more, but I quite like this subdued light. The only problem is it's quite dark inside these houses, a little creepy, but there is still some ambient light bouncing around, so it's not too bad. So let me dive in here, take the shot, and I'll show it to you right now. So this place actually looks like Bodie in California.
Oh yeah. I love this.
Except Bodie's up in the mountains, but it is kind of deserty there, but they get snow and stuff. Do you want to see if we can go inside?
Yeah.
This is great. Now I did photograph this last night and I did record it, but I think the battery ran out on my microphone, so I'm re-vlogging it. And I think this morning the light is much better for this subject. It's quite overcast, light is flat, but the colors really show up nicely, and the details, because there's no harsh shadows. So what I'm going for here are I love the ladder here, and of course the big crack, and then we got this pink, and then we have a nice foreground here that tells a bit of a story. Unfortunately, I can't go any wider with the when I'm doing video, but these pieces of wood, I'd like to include all of those in there. So this is a little bit, the final result will be a little bit wider as usual, but there's some great blue in there as well, and I think that'll show up on the final image. If it doesn't, then I'll just bring it up in post-processing a little bit, so we have that really nice contrast. And then over here is another image that I took last night, but I had a look at it on the computer, and the light, it was pretty dark. Again, the colors are really showing up nicely because we've got the pinks and the greens, and you can kind of see the isolated sand dunes in the background. It's really, I like it. I like stuff like this. So I think that might be it for Kolmanskop. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a really fascinating subject to photograph. I have seen lots of photographs from here in the past on social media and such, but it's a really cool place to come and photograph. It is a little bit sketchy in some places. The ceiling is coming down and the floorboards are rotten and there's nails everywhere, and I'm sure that most of the roof tiles here are all asbestos, and the paint is probably all lead paint, but you know, as long as you're not disturbing it, I'm sure it's fine. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching this week's video. I really appreciate it, and if you enjoyed it, please be sure to give me the old thumbs up. And also thank you once again to all my Patreon members. Your support is really appreciated. All right. Bye, folks.